I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. We turn now to page 48 of the Grade 4 Discovering Music Theory workbook, where we continue with the topic of triads. Now, in many respects, there's nothing new at all here. We've already dealt with the tonic triad on many occasions, and now we just move to triads placed in different positions up the scale. And so we know from our technical names for the degrees of the scale, tonic relates to note 1, subdominant relates to note 4 of the scale, and dominant relates to the 5th degree of the scale. And so all we're going to be doing is now building a triad on these notes as well. And so if we look at this in the context of C major, we see a chord built on the 1st degree of the scale, the 4th degree of the scale, and the 5th degree of the scale. Now when we use just a number, just the number 1, that means a single note. Whereas when we use the Roman numeral, that's kind of number 1. And when we use a numeral, that's a chord built on the note, the degree of the scale. And so we use Roman numeral 1 for the tonic triad, the triad built on the 1st degree of the scale. We use a Roman numeral 4 for the triad built on the 4th degree of the scale. And we use a Roman numeral 5 for the chords that's built on the 5th degree of the scale. Now, chords 1, 4 and 5 in any key are referred to as primary triads because these are foundational to the key to every piece of music. Chord 1, the tonic triad, it is kind of like the home chord, the harmonies that bring everything to a close. Chords 4 and 5 don't do that. They aren't quite, if you finish on a chord 4, it doesn't sound so finished. And chord 5 is the dominant, and that really leaves you hanging there as well. And so these are referred to as the primary triads. And so we can see that they are built using the 1st, 3rd, 5th, 1st, 3rd, 5th, 1st, 3rd, 5th, moving up the notes of the scale. In kind of guitar chords or keyboard symbols, you would have a C chord, an F chord, and a G chord, and that's what's going on here. Now, that doesn't quite give you the same information because that doesn't tell you what key you're in. That C chord could be in any key imaginable. However, if you use chord 1, we know that we're in the key of C major because it's a C chord and it's built on the tonic. So we know that that's our home note, our tonic chord. And it's the same principle in a minor key. And your key signature takes care of all of the details. We have B flats, E flats, A flats, and that will be added to the notes of the chord as you build them. However, because in a minor key, the raised 7th, which is the B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, is raised. So instead of being B flat, it becomes B natural. We always have an accidental raising that note, and that always falls in the middle of chord 5. There's our 7th, because we've built from a G to a B, and that's the 7th degree of the scale. And so you will always see that there's an accidental raising the 7th, which falls in the middle of the dominant triad in a minor key. So that's just another quick reference there. And so in C minor, the tonic is a C minor chord. In C minor, chord 4 is an F minor chord. The primary triads in a major key are all major. the primary triads in a minor key are minor apart from the dominant because of that raised seventh. That's a G major chord. And so that's kind of the clue. You can see why the harmonic minor scale is called such, because it gives us the clue to the harmony. There's our raised seventh, giving us the clue that we're actually in a minor key. So, you know, another little explanation of some terminology that we've become quite familiar with, really. And so we get the opportunity to look at these now in more detail as we move on to the exercises. Now, it's perhaps helpful, instead of always writing things on manuscript and building the chords like this and having to read the notes, it's perhaps more helpful to visualize these chords written out just in letters quickly. And so in D minor, chords 1, 4 and 5 are built on the first degree of the scale, which is D. This helps just to count. D is the first degree of D minor scale, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 is a G, built on the note G, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the A. And so we build our first, third, fifth to build the triad. First, third, fifth, D, F, A, and then G, B, D, A, C, E. However, that's not quite all of the story, because remember, D minor has a raised seventh, which is C sharp. And here we're asked to circle 3 notes that form the subdominant triad in each of these scales. So the subdominant is chord 4, which is notes G, B and D. And so here we have a G, here we have the B. Of course it's B flat, but your key signature will deal with that. And then there's the D. And then here we have A flat major, and we need to circle the notes that create the subdominant triad. So in chord 1, the tonic is A flat. Your key signature will deal with that. Chord 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's D flat. All the flats are there for you. And we need to find out what do we need in this triad. So build your triad, the first, the third, the fifth. We want notes D, F and A. Now, because I'm not familiar with this clef, I'm just going to sketch out the notes. This is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And so we know that we need notes D, F and A. So D, F, A. There we go. Generally speaking, the key signature does all of the work for us, except from in a minor key, we do have to remember that the raised seventh falls as part of chord 5. And so that's now introducing more triads. We could have a triad built upon every degree of the scale. However, at present, we're just concerned with these primary triads, which are kind of the foundational chords, the kind of the skeletal chords that hold all of the harmony of a piece of music together in Western music. And so we've now looked at the topic of the tonic, subdominant and dominant triads in both a major and a minor key. And if you just get used to writing the chords out in letter form rather than note form, it's just a little bit quicker to get to the information that you need straight away. So that's that page completed. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee, and for advert-free lessons, you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.